Salve Discipoli, welcome to your video about verbals. This will actually be the first video in a series entitled Verbals and You. So what exactly is a verbal? Back in my day, that was a section on the SAT, but I think you guys call that section critical reading or something like that. But for the purposes of grammar, it's a verb that also thinks it's another part of speech. So, important, it is a verb, but it's also another part of speech. It's both at the same time. Some verbals behave like adjectives. Here's an example. Do not approach a caffeine-deprived Latin teacher before 8 a.m. Good advice, and it also has a participle, deprived. Other verbals behave like nouns. Here's an example. If you must approach such a teacher, offering chocolate might increase your chances of successful communication. Do you see that the word offering is a verb? To offer is an action. But here it's being used as a subject in a clause. Here's a timely and visually appealing Venn diagram delineating the types of verbals in both languages. So I realize that those circles are weirdly spaced for being a Venn diagram. That's because Latin has all the verbals and English only has 3. So we will have some verbals that exist in Latin but not English. We won't have the same condition reciprocated. So I've got a little color key for you. The blue verbals in the Venn diagram are verbals that behave like nouns, and the brown verbals in the Venn diagram are verbals that behave like adjectives. So infinitives, gerunds, and participles exist in both languages, while the supine and the gerundive only exist in Latin. You won't find that construction in English, which makes it a little hard to translate it sometimes because we'll have to translate it as one of the other verbals that does exist in English. Oh, here's something new on the color key. I didn't see this coming. Like a noun, like an adjective, like a boss. Latin students taking the SAT verbal test. Yeah, I know, y'all call it critical reading now. So, Latin verbals explained. See what I did there? That's a participle. In increasing order of difficulty, another participle. I'm so funny. All right, so I'm going to talk to the verbs out there. Verbs, listen up. If you want to be a participle and you're feeling adventurous, this is how you get it done. The first thing you got to do is start by acting like an adjective. Adjectives must agree with their nouns in Latin in what 3 ways? You know. In gender, case, and number. Therefore, if you're going to be a verb that's also an adjective, if you're going to be a verb and an adjective at the same time, you're going to need a full set of adjectival inflections. You actually won't need your full set of verb inflections. So you're going to need gender, case, and number so you can agree with all those nouns that you're going to hook up with. But you're not going to need any personal endings at all, so you can just leave those off. But you will still have tense and voice. So you're going to have tense and voice from the list of things that verbs do, and all the things that nouns do, which are case, number, and gender. Oh, hello, Winko. Are you here to volunteer to tell us how to be a participle? Well, let's start out by paring down some of those principal parts you brought with you. I see that you brought all 4. You're not going to need all 4 today. Let's see. No, we're not going to need the first one or the third one, so let's just make those fade to the background. There we go. You definitely will need the second and fourth. Good. Let's see if we can, oh, okay, so the second principal part is going to have a particular job, and the fourth principal part is going to have a particular job. Let's see if we can keep those color-coded as we go through so that they stay separate from each other. So I'm going to put the stuff that the second principal part does to create participles in this blue box. I need a bigger box. There we go, bigger box. So we all know how to make the present stem from the second principal part. We take the RE off. There it is. And you can actually make two participles from the second principal part. The first one that you can make is the present active participle. So you take that present stem and add the letters N as in November and S as in Sierra to get the present active participle, but that's only going to give you the nominative singular. To get the genitive singular, which also gives you the stem, you're going to take the present stem and you're going to add the infix NT. After that T, which becomes the new stem, the participial stem, you add third declension endings. So to make the genitive singular, you add an IS. And of course, there is a chart to go with this, and I don't put the chart on the screen to scare you, but here it comes. Oh, there it is. Huge chart. This chart, it does exist in your textbook or on the internet, or you could always come back and screenshot this video and keep it on your phone. The second kind of participle that you can make from the second principal part is the future passive. This is also known as the gerundive, but we'll get back to why it's called the gerundive in a later video. This one's really easy to make. You're going to take the second principal part, take the RE off that makes the present verb stem. You're going to add the letters ND, November, Delta, and it just becomes an adjective that uses the first and second declension endings. And just like you know and love, there's your us, principal parts. All right, let's see what that fourth principal part can do. Again, I'm going to need a bigger box. Here we go. If you truncate the fourth principal part, remove that US, you have the participial stem. This is already the perfect passive participle. So let's just visualize the perfect passive participle with an us, set of principal parts, and you've got an adjective ready to go. The other kind of participle that you can make with the fourth principal part is the future active participle, and to make that future active participle, use the UR infix. There it is. And the UR infix creates this new adjective. You use an us, ending, and it behaves just like mongus or longus. And here are all four of the participles that we use in Latin spread out visually for you to see. This would be a great frame to screenshot on your phone and keep handy. And here are some translations. So, vinces vincentis, present active, and it means winning. Vicendus, about to be won, or just to be won. Victus, having been won, or just won. That could also mean defeated, or having been defeated. And victurus, about to win. Oh no, Charlie Sheen must have gotten a hold of my video. Alright, here are some example sentences using these participles. You should be able to translate these on your own, so give these a shot. If it's problematic to translate these, leave me some kind of a message in my email or text or in the comments box for your response activity. Let me know what was troubling about it and we'll work on it together. Next time, verbal nouns. It'll be fun, y'all. See you in class.